The rhythmic sound of the rain drums loudly in a grove of Douglas firs. Dressing up the trees in a soft glow is a string of white Christmas lights, drawing our eyes to the centerpiece of this space, a modest labyrinth with a powerful purpose.
I can walk just to focus on my breath, or I can walk to set an intention, or I can walk to ask a question. And usually by the time I've come back out, I'm calmer and I've had some insights that I probably wouldn't have had.
It was a serendipitous journey that brought Johanna Vanderpoel to build a labyrinth on her Cowichan Valley property. She started with a vision to make this clearing a community space, but in what way? A book she was reading at the time got her thinking about labyrinths.
Mazes can be disorienting, labyrinths can be centering. You can get lost in a maze, but you can lose yourself in the labyrinth.
The next day, she walked the labyrinth at Damali Lavender Farm and thought, wouldn't it be neat to meet the person who built this? Standing at the end was Patricia Fensky, the steward and builder of this labyrinth.
So I came up here with her to her property. And I mean, what an amazing space. Like it just spoke to, yes, one would site here beautifully. These are architectural blueprints that we use, and they are very precise.
The two got to work, laying out the 4,000-year-old pattern on Johanna's land.
These are ancient patterns that seem archetypical. They show up in every culture. They're expressed on almost every continent through history. And so the question is, well, why?
This question has been looked at more and more, with many studies recognizing labyrinths as a form of moving meditation.
There's a sense that probably we're going to find that walking a labyrinth, chanting, drumming, anything that causes that integrative thinking may indeed be very good. But it's very early stages, but it fits in under mindful meditation.
Patricia says when you enter the labyrinth, you're entering what's called your non-life. So you should be looking at something that inspires you. With this labyrinth, it's facing Mount Zuhalem, which is just tucked behind that wealth of trees. And then when you leave the labyrinth, you should be looking at something that's familiar. So in Johanna's labyrinth, she's looking at her house.
Whenever I'm feeling jangled and I want to be more centered, I can just come outside of my door and come here and walk the labyrinth.
Now, Johanna isn't the only labyrinth keeper. There's over 50 known labyrinths on the island.
They're all over now, in our hospitals, in our parks. You can find one very close to you. And so if you wish to use one, you can. And I think that just makes our communities better and better places.
The International Labyrinth Society has recognized the island's passion for labyrinths. So in September, they're bringing their annual gathering to Parksville, where people can learn, share, and celebrate the use of labyrinths on Vancouver Island. In the Cowichan Valley, I'm Jen Muranetz.